And we're rolling. I'm here again with Yianni Assimakis. Did I pronounce your last name right?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, no, big time staple under the laughs at Kaks comedy show so far. He's performed at every one. You performed at every one, right?
I've performed at every single one, and I'm actually hosting this Thursday.
That's right. He's hosting this Thursday. I'll have this one out before that show, so definitely come on down. Quick little plug. It's Thursday nights here at Kaks Bar and Podcast. The show is called The Laughs at Kaks Comedy Show. $5, man. That's it. It's just $5 at the door. The doors open at 7. Show starts at 8. And the show will usually run until 9:30, 10, depending on how many comics we have. It's a great time, and Yanni's super hilarious. And I definitely highly recommend everyone come down and, just chill, have a good time and let these guys make your life easier,
This has been, doing shows here has been awesome, especially like when we're done. Like venting in here.
Yeah.
For a year or two now, we've all been talking about like, how awesome would it be if after our shows we had a podcast? And now every Thursday we're like, can I be on the podcast? Yeah. It's pretty great.
Fuck yeah. Oh, you guys have actually been saying that? Yeah. It seemed like a no-brainer idea to me, the whole time.
Nathan Green,
the
gentleman I had here on your first podcast with me, he's now so inspired. He bought a camper van. He's stripping out the entire back of it.
Yeah.
He's painting it all on the inside green.
Oh, sick.
And he's building like a mobile
podcast studio. Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. Dude, man, podcasts have become like people's Instagrams. Like everyone should have one. Everyone has one. It's just a great way for everyone so you can get to know someone, kind of get a feel for them. And
that's a great way to, it's unlike vlogging or blogging. It is a neat little way. It's like, oh, how are you feeling lately? It's like, oh, check my podcast.
Yeah, exactly. And and just the more the merrier, because then the more we I've been loving collabing with other podcasts because selfishly I've noticed it increases business. So because other people have their own crowd and following and everything. Yeah. So and then they put effort into try and grow their following, and then everyone piggybacks off each other and everyone wins. It's like
everybody wins.
Exactly.
Everybody wins.
Mm-hmm. No, shoot. Yeah, you want to say something?
No, nothing. I literally was just having a giggle because I saw on the trivia there, when was the first Burning Man?
Okay, yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know, but I can tell you when the last one was. It's like,
what do you mean by that?
Have you not heard what happened at Burning Man?
No, man. What happened?
Torrential downpour, on the hour of day one, once it started.
Like rain, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this desert just became a gigantic mud pit.
Oh my god! And everyone's just high on drugs, so they're just extra tripping out.
Yeah.
I bet.
And complaining too, right? So I don't understand why everyone is sad, because it's like you go out there to experience Burning Man because you want to be closer to nature and some kind of
Man, educate me again. From what I understood, Burning Man is a mushroom thing, right?
It's
primarily?
An outdoor festival
Is it music based?
Yeah, okay. I think so.
All right.
I don't know. I stayed in school. I never went to
school. And I've heard people talk about it so many times because Ari Shafir is super huge into that.
Yeah, it's you have to go to Burning Man at least once in your life.
Have you been to Shambhala?
No, and my brothers are they say that to me. They're like, yeah. Your life hasn't started until you go to Shambhala.
That's what I've been hearing too, man.
What a cult thing to say. Yeah. But it's with the quality of the festivals.
Yeah.
Now at music festivals and stuff, I can only imagine if you're on ecstasy or mushrooms or whatever, how that would amplify that experience 100%.
Yeah. Well, that's just what everyone who's been going there has been telling me. They're like, you think something like this can't possibly exist, and then and I've only been hearing good things. I mean, I eventually will make it out to one. I am I don't even know why I haven't. All my friends that were into that music, EDM and everything, they've been going since I was 18. Basically, it's what they do. Some of them literally have told me, I live for this. There's the week here and then regular life after, and I'm just sitting there thinking why haven't I gone?
I hope the first time I ever go to Shambhala, it's for something in music.
Yeah,
playing guitar, maybe doing comedy on stage. I can't imagine that you would ever be able to do comedy at Shambhala.
Yeah, I have no idea how it works.
Nobody's gonna pay attention to you.
Yeah,
if you're not dropping beats, I don't think you're.
It's definitely a music festival. Yeah. And everyone's. From what I understand, there's no drinking. Man, we sound like noobs. The people probably who are to listen to this and
we're nerd. We're a little bit of a loser. I'm a loser. I've never been to an outdoor music festival in my life. I have missed every Shambhala. My brothers have offered to buy me tickets.
Yeah,
I saw Burning Man and I just started laughing. I was like, ha. hippies.
Okay, but like I'm in the same boat as you. But like, why haven't you gone then? I mean, like usually back in the day, if someone presented a party explaining it like that, I would be there. But for some reason, this one, I'm just sitting here like, I don't know why I haven't gone. Like,
I'm not a huge recreational drug user, and it sounds like
neither am I.
Yeah, and it sounds like if you're not, there's almost like no reason to go. If you're like the only sober one, I feel like it would be weird.
My buddy Dan Allard, I don't know if I'm allowed to share this, but I'm going to anyway. I don't think it's that bad, but anyway. So Dan Allard, who the co-founder, one of the founders of Cold Garden Brewery, he goes every year. And anyway, but he went sober this year because he was just doing something. I don't know. He was like on a health kick or something.
Yeah.
And he still told me, it's like, no, everything's still the same because of everyone keeps saying it's the energy. Yeah. They say it's like everyone's on the same page. Like no one fights out there from what I understand. It's just it's a hippie love fest kind of festival thing. In modern times.
Well, it sounds like we'll be doing one of these episodes from Shambhala next year. We're just in a little tent.
I guess.
See how everything goes.
Yeah. Well, apparently now it's gotten so popular that it's kind of losing its that like it's gotten too big now. Like they want it to stay at exactly this size or something. That's what all the true Shambhalavers have been saying because it's not supposed to be like this mainstream thing. You know, it's but what I get confused about is how come you don't hear about. You hear about a lot of high-profile musicians and celebrities talk about Coachella, but like I never hear them mention Shambhala. That's why I'm like, this thing still must be some kind of like, like underground-ish thing, even though it's not. Like it's super popular, but
my brother, dude, when my brothers get back, they talk about the fractal forest out there for like how it's there's speakers everywhere and you'll get lost, like you have no idea, and it's completely magical and everything. And I'm just like, that's insane. That sounds like the coolest thing ever.
And I heard people just like banging each other like in the river and shit. Like it's like literally just this like crazy. It's like a positive Sin City.
So like when did I become Shooter McGavin from
Happy Gilmore?
From Happy Gilmore. It's like, you know what I saw? I saw two bikers on the side of the road having sex. That is not golf, dog. It's like yeah, maybe that's what we need. We need a little bit more orgy on the side of the road.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, maybe I'm getting old, but
society would be better.
You're getting old whenever like when I was younger and you say the word orgy, I'd be like, ooh, and like now when I think of it, I'm just like, oh, like that's just a very unhygienic situation for everyone.
I've been talking about how I literally realized that I'm getting maybe a little older because for the first time ever in my life, I like focused on a butthole.
What?
In porn.
For medical reasons?
No, for like the first time ever. I was just like, I was looking at, he's doing his work. And I just...
This is a guy's butthole?
Yeah, a guy's butthole.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
And then I'm just like, wow. I hope mine doesn't look like that.
Sorry. What? Like, wait.
I hope.
I have so many questions.
I hope that I have more tender love and care for my ass than this guy does.
Because you're watching gay porn?
No, because it was regular porn. Right?
Why would that guy's ass be like all?
Because immediately I was like, oh my God, I felt bad for the girl. I was like, you should shave it a little bit. So you're not. Okay, sorry. I thought you were going in the direction of like this dude's asshole's been punished so many times that like you're like I don't want to like, you know what I mean? Like that's why I thought you were going with it. But because porn stars are supposed to be like the most aesthetically pleasing people in theory, right? Yeah. Like, it ruins a lot of stuff for young kids, right? If you watch at least 100, 200 hours of porn before you ever lose your virginity, you are going to be so disappointed.
Yeah.
So disappointed.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of high profile adults, if you will, like just explaining like it's just bad, man. Like it's not natural. Because think of it this way, dude. Like back in the day, you had to be a king or like a really powerful figure in society. We're talking about like a conqueror or warlord. You had to do all that so you can have all the women, and primarily it's like probably not a pretty picture, like you're having them against their will, and even then, like you might see 100 like women. Say you had 100 women at one time because you're like most dominant conqueror, but maybe 30 of them are like rockets, right? Because we're talking about back in the day, like they didn't have fucking four blade razors to shave those pubes or whatever. So, it's just bushiness everywhere, I'm imagining. And like, but now these kids, And by the way, like back then, like a king, you know how much had to go down for a king to have a steak and like a salmon at once? Like how many people had to work to go find that fish, get that steak, bring it up into your castle, into like your top floor or whatever. Like so much has to go down just for that. Now your everyday kid in this era can have steak and salmon whenever he wants delivered to his door, and he reaches in his pocket and he's going to see more smoke show women naked than any king and conqueror ever has, like by doing no work at all either.
You actually raise a really good point.
So
the average citizen right now lives better than any emperor
ever did. Exactly. Like any small even apartment, like you have running water, a fridge, you know what I mean? Like it's the internet, like you get to see everything, the amount of drugs out there too. Like
not a plug, but your company is great. Skip the Depot now. Like I literally don't even need to ever leave my house again because Skip the Depot will literally pick up your garbage and recycling.
No way.
Right at your door.
Oh, shit.
And then they'll only take like 10% of what your recycling is worth.
Uh-huh.
So if you could just get everyone in your neighborhood to leave it in your lawn and then get it gone for them. Be like, I know a guy.
Yeah.
Because no one knows about Skip the Depot.
No, I didn't know about that.
You literally just don't. You don't even need to leave your house anymore.
Oh God.
It's actually amazing.
It is, but it's not. There's no way people are happy, you know, because like I just know that's also the struggle with like the whole mental health not phenomenon, fuck, wrong wording, but people we've been wired to feel good after we do hard stuff. I feel the best.
You need to be rewarded.
You need to be rewarded, yeah. But when you just go right to the reward, I mean, my best experience with that is the pandemic, man. Like during the first lockdown, I remember I'm like watching TV all day, right? And I'm like, man, why do I like this? Like usually I love this. Usually I feel happy. Usually I go into escapism. But there was none of that because I didn't do anything to earn it. I just sat there and did it, watched it again, and I became desensitized, got used to it, but then it went back to like now when I watch a movie after just being so busy all the time, like it's like I actually like really enjoy a movie to the point now where I enjoy almost any movie.
Oh my God, the pandemic. It was the year after the pandemic when I started realizing how many of my friends don't actually ever leave their house anyway.
Yeah.
So they're literally all sitting there and they're being like, oh my God, this is so boring. I want to do something. I want to go out. And then now that there is no pandemic and there's all these things have opened up, we can go out again.
Yeah, and they still stay at home.
They still stay at home and they don't do anything. It's amazing.
Well, they're not playing like video games. What do you mean what do you mean they're not doing anything? Like they're probably doing stuff, just all at home, right?
In the last 2 months, we have had 2 people in our community literally move out of the city so they can like go live on a farm.
Okay.
So they don't even need to interact with society or anything like at all.
Yeah.
Right. And then everybody, like that's how you do it. Well, like that's how you're going to do it if you want to hermit away from everything.
Yeah.
But like there are so many people that, especially in the comedy community, where if you're not on stage, you're at home.
Huh. Dude, right? Like how's that? Okay. You're the comic here. So, but don't you need to garner experiences so you have material? You know what I mean?
You would think that getting life experience or putting yourself into situations that literally develop material, right, would be better. But some people don't do that. So
they're literally just sitting there watching TV and getting ideas like that, but like not experiencing it, and then making an inference that this is probably how he felt, and this is where the joke can come.
And now that I'm literally thinking about it, like some of the only comics I can think of in the city, I think Ben Cannon is probably the best at it. Who like
he was on.
Just talking about his life experience is so funny.
Yeah.
And I think talking about something that happened to you, some comics feel is a little hacky. For some reason. It's like a joke should be built, developed, but it's like I don't know. I would have no problem listening to a guy for 30 minutes tell real life stories in a funny way.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, but a lot of people do that. Like that is stand-up comedy.
Yeah, you know what? And like 90% of those stories are lies, right?
Yeah.
But they're being told so well that you think that it did like really happen, or that what the comic. Listen, once we go on stage, it's lies. Like it's all lies. Unless it's preceded with, I shit you not, this is a true story that happened to me. I'll show you pictures after the show, right? It's usually a complete fabrication.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
thanks for admitting that.
It's usually completely designed, unless it is like oh my God, unless you started by saying like it is real and have all the evidence in the world for it, because people will ask at the end of the show. Right. Because you can go up there and say shit that is obviously a lie, and people will be like, how much trouble did you get in for that? It's like, none.
Because it didn't happen.
Yeah, it never happened.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, I kind of get what you're saying with that. But I always thought like these comics are like telling 60% of it true, 40% embellished.
It's definitely inspired from a true place.
Like it can't be just completely made up by thin air, because then that's
like a Law and Order episode. It's like the names, places, dates have all been changed to protect the innocent.
Yeah, something like that. Okay.
Like, you don't. I bet you a lot of it does come from real life, but there are like comics in this city who literally sit down almost like 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
And just stream of consciousness, they write out these entire things that just never happened.
Oh, fuck, man.
It's incredible.
I didn't know that. The more I think about it, you're right. Like, who actually has that interesting of a life to be telling that many stories for 30-something years? Well, I guess, I don't know, but like that's where like Rogan comes into play, because I'm like, he actually does a lot of shit.
Yeah.
He's a fight commentator, a comedian, a hunter, an archer, you know what I mean? Like a fitness guy, jiu-jitsu black belt. Like he actually does all this shit.
Yeah.
He somehow, like, I mean, I think one of his friends, Cameron Haynes, like basically said this, and Rogan actually said this about Cameron Haynes as well. But like they basically said these guys actually have like impeccable time management. Like not a second of their day is actually like wasted. Like because they were asking Rogan, how do you even have time to raise your kids? And he's like, I have dinner with them every day.
Yeah.
I drop them off to school every morning. We go on the weekend. There's like in the afternoon, I'm with them. And then everyone's kind of thinking, wait a minute, boy, I saw you on TV. You said you're doing comedy every night. And where do you get your sleep? But when he actually went through his actual routine, I was like, oh, wow, you actually can't fit all that in. You just can't, there just can't be no excessive time wasting.
And I wonder how much of his life is like actually designed around that, because he lives in California.
Texas now, Austin, Texas.
He lives in Texas?
Yeah, he moved out during the pandemic, and that's now he started the comedy mothership in Austin, Texas. Like because of all the craziness in LA at the time, like comics literally couldn't perform during the pandemic. So he so that was he's in Texas now.
That is so nuts. I always thought that he was in LA.
For the longest time he was.
Okay.
I can basically
that is, but he does his podcast in Texas as well.
Yep. He has a super studio now that it's like
a spaceship red room or whatever it is. Or did he change the wall on that?
Yeah, that was temporary from what I understand. I've never seen an aerial shot of his actual podcast, but every time he's a guest rotate in, almost at some point in every podcast they're like, there's one hell of a place you got here. And then and people were always, because like I had people saying at one point, he's going to get assassinated. He says too much shit. But I'm like, actually, from what I understand, like he literally records out of a bunker. Like, and his security is all Navy SEALs or ex-Navy SEALs. Like people don't even realize that. Like it actually, to go on the Rogan podcast, from what every guest has basically been able to like reveal a little bit, because I'm sure Rogan keeps it still pretty hush hush. Like he cuts out anything that is excessively revealing. But they all say it's like going to a military super bunker, and it's like super protected, and there's like security up like you wouldn't even fucking believe.
That's
like,
so cool.
Yeah, but it wasn't always like that. He had to turn it into that because he blew up so crazily in the last decade. But Rogan's early days, he was just like you guys, man. He was like one bedroom apartment, like trying to get like acting gigs like in the 90s, like living, like that's why he was a comic too, because you guys all have this different approach to living life, which is like unconventional.
It is so neat. And I always talk about with the boys about how, and the girls as well, about how like 5 years, 10 years from now, we're going to be having these exact same conversations, but somebody's going to want to listen to them, like a interviewer or like a TV reporter or like a magazine. Do you know what I mean? And it's so neat because I showed them a video of Joe Rogan losing his mind on Carlos Mencia.
Yeah. I've seen that. Yeah, and
it's Ari's like Joe's losing his shit, and all you can see like all of Joe's friends are like starting to like leave the stage, and Carlos is being a dick on mic.
Yeah.
And then Ari comes up. He's like, No, you did say that. Like, I said this joke, you did this.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there being like, do you guys realize that the only reason that this is famous is because this, like every show in this particular club in LA is filmed?
Yeah.
So like we should be collectively making sure that like everything is filmed.
Yeah.
Not just our sets. Like there's someone, a historian of the highest caliber should be setting up a camera at the back of the room and just recording our days, because we're going to want to look back on these in 10, 20, 30 years.
Okay. Well, Kalen says he records his set. Not video though. He's actually like he keeps his phone and he records.
No, I mean it seems to me just because.
But also, aren't you not supposed to record? Like that's like
dude, the school of thought on this is wildly different. You have some people that are like, you don't want any of your stuff out there because it burns jokes, and if you're not a big comedian and a writer or a bigger comic takes that, it's your word against theirs. Yeah. And then now what are you going to do, right?
That is true.
So even if it was dated, post-stamped, everything, you'll be destroyed by popularity and ego.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. I guess that's always your guys' main problem is like making sure someone's not straight stealing your fucking jokes.
Yeah.
You know, does that happen a lot? Like, because how like, man, Yianni, sorry, like how long have you been doing comedy again? I'm like, you answered this question last time.
May would have been a year.
Maybe okay, so a year,
so just over a year.
Yeah, and then but prior to that, Yianni was doing theater, right?
Yeah, I did 12 years at Jubilations. 7 of them were like on stage, like as a cast member.
Yeah.
Fucking shout out to everybody at Celebrations. Sorry that theater closed, guys. That's huge. That theater's been out there for like 25 years. Sorry to hear that. Shout out to everybody. Hope everything goes well out there.
Do you still do theater work right now, or does it just stand-up comedy?
Since I started comedy, it's been 100% comedy.
Yeah.
The only the gentleman who owns Revival Brewcade, he has like a little construction company that I work with him, doing renos and stuff.
Yeah.
So that at any moment in time, if a tour or show or anything comes up, I'm not stuck at work.
Yeah.
I don't have to give notice. I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Comedy's
the number one, and then everything kind of supports that.
Yeah, and then it was this, like, and it's been really great, and thank God that it's been picking up, because I thought I was going to die like 3 months ago, because I'm like, okay, we're not making any money.
Yeah.
I know with like my luck, I'm going to go and get a full-time like morning job somewhere.
Yeah.
And then the day I'm going to walk out of my interview, and it's going to be like, hey, Yianni, do you want to come on tour for a month? It's gonna be like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, Murphy's Law.
Yeah, I started working with Jamie from Revival more and more.
Yeah.
Just trying to build like a float of cash so that I could just focus on getting on stage every night, buying new clothes, trying to figure out, like, if I do get a show in another city, how am I going to get there?
Yeah. So actually have a funding for your work.
Money for gas, food, accommodation. This is all stuff that is now,
dude, man,
even 3 months ago, I didn't think would be a reality.
Fuck, man, this struggle you guys have is because like I'm a huge MMA fanatic, like combat sports fanatic, but there's so many parallels between the life of a fighter and a comedian, because so many of these fighters too, like, in order to get good, you have to train every day.
Yeah.
In order to get great at comedy, you got to do it every day. And then it's like, but how do you fucking do that when bills and living, and it's like, it's a puzzle. Each person solves it in their own way. Some people have help from family. Some people, like you, like find that nice job that gets them just what they need so that they can dial in. Some people actually still work a full-time super job, and then they have to quit it and then like try to get it back when the tour is over and continue building. And it's like, it's just like, I don't know, man, life is insanely hard. But
if the house that we lived in wasn't bought and paid for, like, we'd be fucked. Like, I wouldn't be able to survive doing this and $500 or $700 rent.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
what do you mean your house you live in is bought and paid for? Like
it's all like, we only pay for, like property tax, our bills.
Yeah. No, like, so you, sorry, am I confusing myself here? Like you own a house?
No, it's my father's.
Oh, okay.
So me and my dad pitched in like before the pandemic.
Yeah.
I used to work for Direct Energy making gangster money until I realized that I might as well be selling drugs. Like, energy is evil. Like, it's such a weird company.
Yeah.
And then, so like the whole thing is owned and paid for. He's almost retired.
Yeah.
Right. Like, he's getting close. Like, he's maybe looking for work here and there, but everything is now to the point where sorry.
Oh no, keep going. Keep going.
So once I'm in a position, I'm going to be paying rent for the first time since 2015.
Wow. Fuck. That's
dude, and you know that thought horrifies me.
Yeah, well, right? Especially right now, rent is atrocious everywhere. Okay, so basically, like, you know, like not trying to sound like mean or nothing, but like you live with your dad.
100%. I have to.
Fuck yeah. No,
I'm a full-time comedian. It's either dad, mom, or there are grants that the city of Calgary and the government of Alberta do. If you can score an artist grant, you can get housed at a bunch of places in the city,
right?
And all that it is you're just you're making sure that you're doing shows, you're contributing to like a certain amount of hours. You're given a little bit of money from the government so you can go and pursue those dreams.
Yeah,
and I've signed up for 3 or 4 of those over the last little bit, and I don't understand Canadian government. I don't understand why none of us are getting this fucking money, because there's $2.5 million of it sitting in an account somewhere, and you guys are like, well, no one's applying, no one's coming for it. We are.
Well, fuck yeah, no, I wouldn't put any faith that the government handles any of those fundings with pure morality. You know, who the fuck knows where it's going. Dude, man, like now you got my mind spinning on, because I've been thinking about this a lot lately. It's like, I'm maybe this is a kind of political thing. I'm sorting my thoughts in real time right now, by the way, Yianni, but it's like I am a free market capitalist believer, hence I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you know, every now and then, you know, I'll have very left-wing thinking friends that are very for like socialism, communism, you know, like a more equal distribution of the, you know, the wealth and supplies that basic people need. But it's like I support free enterprise because it brought out the best in me when you don't have a safety net, right? Like, it's like, now don't get me wrong, I'm not out of the woods. Like, you know, like, it's like this business is a growing process, and like a lot of money got put into it to make it come alive, if you will. And like, by no means are we making profit yet. Like, you know, like we're a true startup from the ground up. But it's like when you don't have that safety net, though, it's like it just pushed me. It's a lot like working out. It's like if you have a spotter there, it's like, I don't know, like you might try, you might not, I don't know, but if there's no one helping you, then I don't know, it's just you and making
you're almost 100% sure that you're gonna do
it. You
take way less,
or like you take more risk, or you just grow more. But when you have this safety net, I don't know what it is, it just creates this I don't know, you're just not at your best, you know? Like, it's like I feel like it needs to be this way, but at the same time, now I'm starting to think about it from the other end. I'm like, well, maybe there should be a very basic UBI, universal basic income, right? But then because it's like, man, if people just weren't worried all the time about food and shelter and clothing, then they could have more energy to pursue their passions. And then we probably see better like products, like global, like in every facet of life. But then I kind of like, I'm torn, because we kind of saw what UBI it was with CERB. And like, let's be honest, most people didn't use CERB for what CERB was for. You know what I mean? Like, it's a pure coincidence that like, oh, all the bars are closed, but like still liquor stores were like making money like hand over fist, and like drug dealers are making money hand over fist, and like, and it's just, so I don't know, man. So then I'm like, okay,
Xbox and PlayStation set record years.
Man, like fuck, dude, I don't know. It's I'm torn, because I really feel like it's like we are in a great place in time because of, again, like what you said earlier about like any kid in an apartment has more than the emperor ever had, but something is not right because everyone's still struggling so fucking much to try to do better with themselves. You know what I mean? Like, it's a paradox, and I don't have an answer. Like,
I have a theory that it is really hard for an artist to begin, and they need a lot of support, financing, and time.
Yeah.
A lot of resources, actually, depending on what you do. Musicians require way more than most. And then like I all I need is a comic and a comic. All I need is a microphone and a speaker, right?
Yeah.
But at some point, once that artist is independent, all of the financial support should stop. Because there's no reason for somebody just because they are an artist to be receiving money.
Yeah.
There should be a designed system for like, okay, well, here's what we can do. But then why can't you have that for everything else? Like, if like why snowboarders don't get that? Well, I guess you do through sponsorship and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not every snowboarder, right?
That's fair.
It's you know, like when I think about countries that have like more of a socialist kind of approach or whatever. Again, where's the creativity though? Like the most creative things, it appears like it comes out of, appears anyway, like comes out of North America, because the model in North America is you can basically pursue whatever you want. It's just, but you're on your own. You got to make it work, right? But like all these other places, it seems like whenever you get comfortable, there's less creativity, because you don't, like if you're not hungry, you're not trying to get food. Yeah. If you know what I'm saying? Like if you're a little bit full, you're not, but when you're starving, that's when you really cook that steak really good. And like, so I don't know, but the process is so painful sometimes. And, and I'm, maybe I'm talking about just myself a little bit too, where I'm like, man, a little bit of help would be nice, because it's like we're already not sleeping. We're trying to make things work, and like we're doing it from a good place. Like we're trying to make the world a better place with doing what we love. Like I'm podcasting, I'm running a bar, and like again, like we're not trying to serve alcohol to people who are struggling with alcoholism. Like we're trying to bring back a nice, great, like super happy vibe party spot. Like that's what we're trying to do. So I don't know, man. It is hard, and I just feel like it just sucks that it's like you have, like, right now you're, the bank, we're not gonna name the bank, but the one bank can like screw Johnny over and even depositing a fucking check, and like, and now you're like, now you kind of have that on your mind. I noticed, like, and it's like, it's just, but it was like so unnecessary, where I'm like, man, like something like that should just be like taken care of. But then I shoot myself in the foot again because of the amount of lazy people I know who just, if there's another serve around, like, trust me, they're not working. They don't want to work. They would rather just literally live like a hermit, but there's no fucking way they're happy. Like I there's no way, or their understanding of happiness is fucking down here. Then
you'll love this. It blows people's minds when they find out that I've never once been on EI.
Fuck, good for you.
Because that is honestly the actual 100% admission of defeat. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, wow. My life has never been so bad where I couldn't go on the internet and find like a job posting or like a gig, or find a way to do a show and make a couple bucks. Like, it's never been. But the day that it is, like, and I'm like, I'll just go on EI for a little bit and write some jokes, kill myself. Like you can't. You can't. You're right.
I never looked at it like that. But go on. Yeah.
Dude, what did Pablo Escobar do? He wrote himself a check for $1 million. We're not gonna sit here and say that like character building is like by Pablo Escobar is a good thing, but he did a really neat thing that I do love, and this is true. He wrote himself a check for $1 million, right? And then he's like, if I
real
can't,
check,
okay. So he posted like a check. I posted a check for $1 million, and he said, if I can't spend that in a year, I'm just gonna give up.
So he put the pressure on himself. Yeah.
And I don't know if it was I'm going to give up or I'm going to hang myself or like anything more serious that.
Or he was like, oh, or I'm going to kill everyone.
Yeah, something. But it's just like something like that. And then I was like, wow, that's fucked up. But then you realize that Michael Jordan did the exact same thing. And it's like for Good Charlotte, which is like, there's a blast from the past for a bunch of you guys. They were saying that too. They're like, if we don't have like 100 shows booked by like here, we're just going to quit as a band and I'm just going to go be a lawyer and like do all this stuff. So it's like, like set small, achievable goals, like writing yourself a check for $1 million. But like set small, achievable goals. Our group, the Deportables, which is Tasir Hussein, Omar Farouk, Suk Singh, Anton Burinkov. Am I missing anybody? Me. A couple months ago, like we were afraid that we were going to lose one of our members. He was going to go out to Toronto. And then the other one, he works all across Canada, and we literally, as a group, we were like, guys, if we can't book some shows and start making money with these shows, we're just gonna have to go our own separate ways and just like do this separately. But we're gonna have to dissolve this group. And we were like, you could tell by how fast we worked to start booking and keep everyone together, how much it meant to all of us.
Yeah.
And now we went from having no shows to we have no idea who's gonna have to like start handling.
You guys don't see a manager now.
We literally are thinking about it, and if it wasn't for Suk, who's literally just taken that role on because of the work he does and his character, we'd all be pulling out our hair.
Yeah.
But he's just sitting there and he's like, don't worry about it. It's like, so we're happy. And as a performer, you want to be able to know that somebody is worrying about all of that back of house stuff so that you can literally just go out there and do your stuff. And Souk needs to also do the same job that we're doing. So I don't want it to be him for long, right?
Yeah.
So we probably might need to look into a manager. But this is a problem that we did not even conceive of having.
Yeah, it's a good problem, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm very glad that we've been able to help out the comedy community by hosting a comedy show on Thursdays here.
This has been awesome.
Because it's obviously you guys need more spots to perform at, and this what started for us. For that, as far as comedy goes here, it was just like another fun kind of little event night thing. But now I'm actually learning a bit of the business of comedy, and as I'm talking to you guys more, and I'm thinking I'm gonna get more into that a bit more. Not be a comedian, but I want to make it even more grand, right? Get even more dialed in here. Like my partner and I were talking about, maybe we should go look at sound deadening panels and this and that when we get the funds. But there's a bigger vision now, and Kalen's approach to running the show is so he's so he understands the business side and what it takes, and he's basically explaining this needs to happen, this is the pace, because I even thought in my head, I was yeah, you're right, you need to book different comics every week. You can't just know a couple, you have to know a bunch. You have to keep knowing more, because otherwise you're going to run out of people to book.
And create an environment where that someone who is thinking about starting comedy understands that you get 3 weeks as a comic to put yourself out there, be vulnerable, and after that. And I say you get 3 weeks because after about 3 weeks is when everyone starts treating you like a comic again.
Yeah.
Normally like a comic, right?
Because expectations go up now.
Yeah.
It's you can't keep sucking anymore, dude.
Start writing new material. Start doing this.
Yeah.
You've already.
You got to show you got better.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a lot like martial arts too, man. If someone keeps coming to train, and that first day, of course, you give them the newbie treatment, he's flinching when someone throws a punch. It's okay, but you're right. It's how serious you said you're trying to take it serious, so we need to see a progression. So by 3 weeks, you better be able to spar and not be afraid or whatever. And because otherwise, then because everyone's trying to go up, right? You have to always be leveling up,
and you're gonna get fans.
Yeah,
you're gonna see people that you're gonna have shows that absolutely rock. You kill it. People are gonna leave that show. They're gonna remember your name. They might even remember a joke. That's if you can get a joke. My holy trinity for crowd members is I want them to be I want them to laugh, obviously. I want them to remember my name. I want them to remember at least one of my jokes.
Yeah.
And I hope that something I said starts a fight in the car ride home. You know what I mean? That's the holy trinity for me, right? Because what's going to end up happening is they see my name again, they buy a ticket. I don't want it to be the exact same set.
Yeah.
I don't ever. And I don't know what.
But it has to be though. I mean, a couple of comics now. I've been watching comedy essentially my whole life, but I wouldn't say I'm hardcore watching it, because otherwise I would have picked up on. But these little things to the layman, I actually didn't fully realize that they do the same jokes over and over and over.
From show to show.
I thought they'd create new stuff every time.
That's how they build that hour.
Yeah,
that's how they build their specials.
And that's why it's you're right. That's why they have to make sure no one's filming or whatever. But my only question is shouldn't. Again, I might sound insanely stupid because it's making it sound like comedy's easy, which it's not. But it's what? But you're going to see some of the same faces in the crowd, so you're just going to do the same joke. Especially if I don't want to name names here. It's not a bad way, but I heard the one comic now do the same bit 3 times, and then I didn't put it together that this is part of his working, as you said, billing to his hours. So he's just trying to perfect that joke.
Find out what goes ahead of it, what goes in front of it, whether or not it's fucking garbage. It's tough to figure out. I think 3 times is about when you should. After you've tried a joke 3 times, you should open up a book. You should write it in there, and then you should put that aside and start looking for the next thing to put in that book.
Yeah.
Right. You don't want to be able to do another comic set.
Yeah.
Like when I see somebody, I don't want to be like, I'm going to go for a cigarette because it's going to be the exact same 8. We see each other so often that does happen.
Yeah.
But when it's the crowd doing that, like, you've got to start writing more material.
Yeah.
And
that's so fascinating, man. Just because, like, think about it. Music, they play the same song over and over and over, but it's because you're tapping into an emotion.
And if you don't, they'll kill you.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's like they come there because they want that emotion to be brought back out.
Precisely.
But with comics, it's like you go to a comedy show because half the element is surprise.
Yeah.
You wanna be like, oh, like like this, they said something crazy.
The hardest piece of advice I ever heard in my entire life was, and this is for anyone writing comedy and for anybody that is wondering what I'm trying to do up there, it's the ultimate goal is getting the crowd to finish the joke at the exact same time that you're about to say it. Like, you literally have the audience member there like, no fucking way he's going to say that. Yeah. Then you say it, and they're like, ah! They, for some reason, it's like a different kind of rewarding. Yeah. Like, you're like, I thought of it too. Like, it's like, when you get to the same place all together, that's when you get those big booms.
Yeah.
The crushing laughs. And it's so tough to, like, sit there and be like, walk off stage, be like, that's great. And it's like, I didn't get the laugh. Like, I didn't.
Yeah. But I mean, I was talking to Kaylin about this too. It's like, there's so many factors though, because for instance, I've been watching every show, like I tune in from start to finish. And so I'm in the crowd and I do notice sometimes you're just drinking a bit too much, or like your buddy's whispering to you and now you're not focused. Like it's like sometimes the joke is actually like gold, but like the audience the attention didn't pay attention to the full build up to it. But that's why it's like we got to really work on like me and Cass and Kaylin and like really making sure everyone's like, okay, this part of the portion no one talk, like it's the comics, like and because otherwise it's like the jokes, you guys can't tell if it's actually good. And this is a place you're supposed to be able to tell if it's good. So we got to make sure people are actually focused, but at the same time, I'm also thinking like, well, they also have the right to just chat and shit because we're a bar as well. Like, like it's like. Well,
that's okay. And that's where like my years of theater, I think, really helped me.
Yeah.
If you have a microphone in your hand and there are people in a corner discussing something, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, be exciting. Change it. If that's don't do your set today. Bounce a ball at your head.
Yeah.
Entertain the people. Do work for your fucking money. I don't know what to tell you. The most dangerous words in this community are that wasn't a great crowd. Well, whose fault was that?
That Yianni, because you have that extreme ownership mentality. That's why you're going to succeed. But to play devil's advocate. Like for instance, like in the last show, I invited down a couple of kids. I don't want to name whoever right now, but they came down. But like that wasn't. They didn't really truly come out for comedy night. Like they came down because I invited them, right? Yeah. So like I didn't expect them to be as dialed in. Like they were just more like, oh, I'll check it out, kind of thing. And so I noticed they were chatting a bit during the set, and then I forget which comic it was, but I think it was Anton. Yeah, but he's like roasting them, and then they laughed and played along and everything. But I was sitting there thinking in my head, like they're not here entirely for the comedy night, so like they're not gonna, sit there.
Yeah, so
they're gonna chat with each other a bit and this and that.
As a comic, you got to be really respectful of.
It's tricky, man.
Yeah, you got to be really respectful of like when you shoot your shot. If they completely ignore you and go back to talking. Try maybe one more time in a minute or two, but you don't want to like make the point now to get their attention.
That's why Anton again was a beaut. I want to talk about his set, but like I probably shouldn't because like I want
go ahead. Anton's great.
But he had this one bit where, like, dude, I don't want to give it away, right? But it was like,
oh, it's a joke.
No, it's a thing he did to like. But it was so because he saw like he was losing the attention span of that front row. And then he just got so. I'm just gonna say, like, Anton. By the way, fucking like, I'll get on pod. He was so ridiculous, like, and it was like it shut everyone up. And it was like, oh my, like. And again, I don't want to give away what he was doing because like I was crying laughing and yeah. Anyway, but I was like, yeah, like that. that worked. And like, I'm like, and that you can tell this guy knows what he's doing. You know, he didn't get nervous. He just like, he was just like, hey, like, you know, like, and then he did his thing or whatever. Fuck, maybe I can talk about it. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to play it safe right now because I want people to see the bit. I want them to laugh the way I laugh when he did it for the first time.
This is why we need to start recording everything, like just every single little thing, because like all the major clubs, once the show starts, they have a camera at the back of the room in between, like with the crowd in between them and the comic, so that it can pick up any little thing that the crowd might have heckled. It picks up the laughter of the crowd. Yeah, it picks up all of that. Right. Yeah. Right now, like so much of we just need to do. Media is so important in this game. I don't even know how to do those videos where like it has the comics words as he's saying them. The fuck?
What do you mean, like subtitles?
Yeah, like no, but I don't know. Like, is there an app for that, or do you have to type that out yourself?
No, like subtitles are all apped up now, man. Like,
dude, that is amazing. Like, I need to figure out how to do that.
It's super easy, especially if you use like TikTok. It's built into that.
I finally gave in. I got a TikTok.
Yeah, man. I don't know. TikTok's amazing. I hope it doesn't go out. I mean, it is what it is. Like, yeah, it's definitely the devil's fucking app though. Like, it's so peak in knowing your attention span, like just the way the thumbnails, everything. I
just don't like that it is designed to ruin like a mind. Well,
it's addictive. It's a drug. Yeah. But if you're strong-minded, which then it trains you not to just use like social media again. Like I use it on my terms. Like I'm so good now at not going down a rabbit hole. Because for years I didn't. That's why I discontinued social media. And then if it wasn't for this business, I wouldn't have gotten back into the social media game, because like ultimately I think unless you're using it with a purpose, it is bad for you. I think you have to have a reason why you're on it. Like it better be to learn, grow, get entertained, but within like 10 minutes and that's it, and put the phone down kind of shit, right? Like, because it's so easy to spiral down 3 hours of scrolling, man. Like it's like, especially with TikTok, like it will match up shit where you're like, okay, you know what? Like, I just want to look at sports. And then you're like, and you can almost tell, like, usually the customer at this point grows tired of watching sports. So now the next video will be chicks. And then and then all of a sudden you got the girls dancing bikinis and shit. And they're like, whoa, then all of a sudden back to sports. Like, it's like this, literally like a halftime show. Like
it's designed to keep you like right there.
Yeah. And then obviously the phone's listening to you and this and that. And like, but at the same time, I'm sitting here like, to deny TikTok is like denying, like innovation, you know what I mean? Like it's up to you not to get addicted, just like like it's,
which is why I think the like Canada just did the Facebook news ban.
Yeah, so now so I mean Canada's like us, we're in Canada, but it's weird, man.
Yeah, no, like, but it's so weird.
It's getting very
it is strange.
Censored.
I'm not sure exactly why they did it, but there is one shining light in here, and it is that you have to look up your own news and fact check it yourself for once.
Yeah.
Like, you guys don't know how to do that, do you?
Well, dude, but there's a big problem with that because, again, like Bill C-11, I think it is, like, if you have to keep fact checking shit, but now you lowered the pool of where the sources can come from. Now, like, eventually you're just going to be stuck with choosing from like 5 options. And if they're all in cahoots to make sure a narrative is like the way it is, like there's no different than fucking like Germany, man, back in World War II, like what Hitler did. It's like he controlled the media. Like, so it's like, it's something like, no, dude, it has to be free speech. It has to be unlimited free speech. It has to. Otherwise, because human beings, like we're so, like, we can be wonderful and good. And, and like, I personally try to go that way. It feels much better. And like, and, on your insides, your soul, but man, like we're also very fucking like bad. So it's like we need to make sure like that there's freedom so that everything kind of naturally checks itself, because otherwise like we're getting manipulated, man. Like half the time I can't even trust what I'm seeing now because I'm like, well, you're only letting me have 4 sources. So like how the fuck am I supposed to know?
Then the other half of the time you can't believe what you're seeing because it might be a deep fake.
Yeah. And those deep fakes are getting pretty crazy. I mean, I joke with Cass all the time, like that this podcast might only be a podcast for like 2 more months, and next we're all in the VR version because things are moving so fucking fast. So I'm like, so sometimes I don't even get too attached to this, the style, the way we're doing it here, because I'm like, technology is just moving so fucking fast, man. Like, who knows, man?
The amount of stuff that David Attenborough is narrating now is insane. Like
who's David Attenborough again? I was
thinking Judd he's the guy with the very distinct nature voice. He did BBC documentaries. It's like, here you see the bubbly toad.
Okay. I never heard him, but it's
like whatever. So like you'll find like pick anything, any random thing.
Yeah. So he has like a Morgan Freeman type of ambiance.
Yeah. But now like I'm just trying to think of an example that a bunch of people would understand. Okay. Barbie dolls.
Yeah.
Right. So you'll just like go to an AI. You'll write out like a thing. Be like, I want David Attenborough to explain the Barbie movie to me.
Yeah.
Right. And it'll be like. After Ken discovered the power of the patriarchy, Barbie asked him to leave, canceling the mating ritual. And it's all done by AI because there's
canceling the mating ritual.
Yeah, like 50 years of his voice out there.
Yeah,
which means that like you load that into a computer, 50 years of one man's voice. That thing can there's no hiccup in the voice at all.
Right now, Rogan's already having that problem because he's had so many podcasts now. People can literally splice his voice, literally create stuff that he's not saying. So it honestly Rogan at this point, unless you watch it out of the Spotify or his YouTube page,
you couldn't tell the edit. Yeah,
there's a chance it could be deep fake, especially audio only. Because right now the deep fakes are still ridiculous. Like you can tell it's a deep fake. Like because of primarily what is said is so. There's all these deep fakes of Joe Biden talking about partying with Trump, right? Did you see those?
Yeah.
Those are hilarious. But literally literally sounds like they're in a car ride together talking about getting fucked up. But I'm like, Joe Biden obviously wouldn't fucking ever say that, so that's what we know is a deep fake, right? But with Rogan, I don't know, man. It's because he's such a hot button figure, and there's so much people that don't support him and hate him, want to bring him down. So now you're just I'm just like, dude, this is everything you're trying to slander on that guy is taken out of context, to the evil people, so
whatever, it's 100% right. So it's we either need to start releasing technology that's on our phones that can scan the video that you're watching to see if it is altered in any way, right?
I have no idea. I'm kind of scared personally.
Dune, Star Wars, Star Trek, Warhammer.
Yeah.
These are some of the 4 biggest sci-fi and almost anything that Isaac Asimov has ever written, the old sci-fi writer.
Yeah.
Out of these 5 things, AI, illegal, all of them. There's no such thing as artificial intelligence in any of these places, in any of them, because it's so dangerous.
I'm a huge Star Trek nerd, by the way. Are you a Star Trek nerd?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
There's no AI, right?
Yeah,
the ship's computer is the closest thing to AI that is even allowed by law in the Federation.
Well, you saw Picard, right?
Yeah.
The entire season 1 was based on that because the AI, they had to eradicate AI, but it's because of exactly the problem. You're gonna get ultimately with AI, you're gonna probably more than likely get into Terminator shit, Skynet. You're gonna have Terminators walking around and especially. But I don't know, man. But when I think about that whole thing, it's my mind goes.
It's because it's survival though now.
But what I mean is sometimes I think we're AI. You know what I mean?
The best machines.
We're just computers, I think.
Self-replicating, self-healing.
Yeah, I think we're actually not the real thing we were. I think we're actually robots.
I think that alien species ditched us on this planet, made us super, super curious.
Yeah.
None of this is necessary. You know what is necessary? Eat, sleep, fuck, breed, right? That's it.
Yeah.
But why do we want shiny things?
And why do we even really want to breed? And sometimes it's obviously a pre-programming. It's
because
must make more of self, but it's why?
So that we can build more workers to build all of the resources and on the surface of the planet, so when they come back, they can take it all and leave us behind.
I guess I don't know.
It's all in neat little boxes for them to take away.
Yeah. Who knows, man? It's just. But I think we're both in agreement. We suck. We're nowhere near fucking super awesome. We think we're super awesome. Are you fucking shitting me? Most of us don't do the creating. It's we're piggybacking off of actually that was a Rogan bit, but it's true. It's and you're right. I do believe aliens fucking made us, man.
Or
did something.
Our design is way greater than us, for sure.
Yeah, there's no fucking way. And I like South Park made fun of this too, where it's I really believe we're just a cosmic entertainment machine. It's like these aliens probably because they design us with so many contradictory qualities. Like I want to be healthy, but all the healthy food doesn't taste as good as the bad food. Oh shit. I want to be like loyal and loving, and your soul wants to be loyal and loving to a partner, but your body is designed to want to have sex with as many different strangers as possible. It's now another contradiction. Yeah. So it's just like watch them go, like let's see what the decisions they make, and then it's just like, of course, if we're an alien race, imagine you and I are aliens, and we did the exact same thing we just theorized was done to us. Like we'd be having beers right now, watching but the show wouldn't be a TV screen. It could probably be our consciousness, literally going into
we're interdimensionally standing there just laughing,
watch this experiment, just like nature of things shit. You see two animals get together or whatever, see what happens. It's like same thing. It's like, okay, watch this, we're gonna get the fat guy here, and then we're gonna get the attractive guy here, and then we're gonna put a girl in between, but we're gonna start the girl talking to this guy and go, and then it's like boom, and then it's just and then all of a sudden watch, she's going to the attractive guy, now fat guy's trying to roll over here and impress her.
It's a zoo.
It's just like a Rubik's cube and like a wild dice roll of endless possibilities, because we're just built with so many contradictions. And then it's like, to be happy per se is just to fight through all those contradictions. And say you lived literally the way someone would live through the Bible or whatever. It's okay, only sex with one person, marriage, blah, blah. It's ultimately, you do have a healthier life, but then you missed out on all of that dopamine that can only come from that. But then your soul is enriched, and I don't know, man. It's like we're built to fail in that respect, because you literally can't have it all. You live the clean life, then you don't get the dopamine. You do too much of the dopamine stuff, then you don't get the clean life. And then your soul, it's like this never-ending day-to-day balancing act. And the best way is just if you never experience half of that shit, then you don't compare.
Just ignorance is bliss?
Yeah, absolutely. But then that also isn't right, because think of it this way. They're like, oh, hey, the people who still live in a tribe out in buttfuck nowhere, they're happier. They're happier, yeah. But they're so out of touch with the possibilities, Sorry, I was my fucking rant there.
That is always true. It's no, they're better off being left alone. I'm until one of them gets a disease, right? Yeah. And then how much is the prime directive in Star Trek?
Yeah.
Right? It's you literally can ruin a person with technology.
Dude, no, we can talk about Star Trek forever and ever.
We need a Star Trek podcast.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I love Star Trek. I love Star Trek. I feel like that. I wish we lived in that world already. I mean, for sure, the top priority for me would be to get into the Federation for sure and have my own starship. I'd be obsessed. Just think about that future's they perfected it. In theory, right? Yeah, actually, it depends.
It's a great it's a neat little take on what we think would happen. And Gene Roddenberry, we had to change it because Gene was always he wanted no interpersonal conflict, right? In any of the Star Treks.
What do you mean by that?
He literally believed that in the future there would be no such thing as
fighting,
argument,
jealousy, anger,
any of that. Yeah. And then they were
well, dude, when you think about that, if you watch the very original Star Trek with Kirk from the 60s, his character was always poised. And even though he was a wild card, he was still poised. But then by the time you get to Shatner older doing those 6 movies, then he's showing a little more emotion, because they're obviously trying to make it relatable to the times of the 90s. But it's but in theory, where am I going with this? Again, I'm just down a Star Trek rabbit hole now. But in theory, the perfect place to be is the attitude of the next generation.
Yes.
Because remember Picard, he was just always cool, calm, collected. That should be where humanity gets to. But again, I don't know, man. It's but I don't think it's possible, because that's just, I don't know, maybe it's possible, but it would require a lot of ignorance is bliss shit. You would have to absolutely eradicate things like drugs. Like, you know, like there just can't be that, because that thing is too good, you know, and it's literally causes the spiral, you know.
Drugs, money, religion. These are the three beasts you must slay if you want to become the fucking United Federation of Planets. Oh my God.
Yeah, fuck, man.
You know, let's let me plug let's end it here, and I'll plug my
absolutely. Yeah, fuck yeah.
We got, what the fuck do we have? The Deportables are next Wednesday at the Potion Room.
Okay.
I'm hosting Kaks this Thursday, which is September.
Look it up. September
14th.
September 14th.
September 14th, yep. I'll be here. September 16th, we have Des Graham and I have a show at the Potion Room, and I would love to ask you about getting Des on here, because we've been working together since day one. And then I'm on tour from the 25th to the 28th, but that's in October, and hopefully we'll talk before then.
Sick, man. Okay, guys, Yianni's show information will be in the show notes as usual, and Yianni, love chatting with you. Come on as much as you want. And like we can always talk about whatever.
Dude, next time we're talking about Star Trek.
Fuck yeah, dude. Oh, dude, that might bore a lot of people, but at the same time, I love
we'll be shocked. We'll be shocked.
Okay, bye everyone.